Welcome back to the channel, everybody. Today we're going to be talking about Project Zomboid. Build 42 has been released. Shit, at this point it's probably like 2 months now since it's been out. I've put in quite a lot of game time into this, quite a lot of hours. So yeah, as of today, we are on build 42.3.1 unstable. Hotfix was released on February 12th, so yeah, that's just under a month, as today's the 2nd of March. But yeah, so let's just kind of get into it about the good and the bad, at least from my opinion. Being someone that only started playing in build 41, yeah, I mean, honestly, all in all, it's been pretty good. Some of the best improvements, or at least things that you can see right away, is just the ability to have a higher resolution and be able to fix like the UI in terms of like if you have a a higher res monitor. So that's pretty nice because I had recently upgraded to a 2K monitor, and then having the 1080p kind of makes it look weird. And just other scaling issues, I guess, but most of that seems to be fixed with this, which is really nice. Just more options, and then just all the extra added stuff like the animal husbandry. I believe more farming stuff is going on. Being someone who's still, I would say, relatively new to this game, I haven't done everything in Build 41. I haven't even been everywhere. It just gets to be to that point. Well, at least from Build 41, I was like, I don't know, I think like 4 months into my last playthrough before I started switching over to Build 42. Where I really started to kind of dive into like the crafting mechanics and building an actual base. I believe that was in Moldra is where I started, and that's where my current playthrough's in. I've also checked out Echo Creek as a starting location, which is pretty cool. There's just not a lot of loot there. I know that there's the Guns Unlimited place. I think it's west, like northwestish, I believe, west northwestish of the Echo Creek starting location. But damn, that place is packed with zombies. So, I mean, really, realistically, with the starting loot that you get from Echo Creek, there is almost no way to clear it out by like conventional means of either shooting them and or meleeing your way through. I mean, it literally takes forever. I was trying that up to a point, and then I just kind of got bored due to the slog of meleeing through most of that stuff and not really having any guns from Echo Creek. So I just kind of like ran in just to see what I could kind of grab, and then just got fucking bit on like my second to last playthrough that I had. But we'll get more into, I guess, that kind of later. But for now, I just want to say at least the good things about it are the new locations are cool. This map is huge. Again, I haven't even explored most of it, but I do like that they're adding new places, as I really want to have like a, I guess, nomadic playthrough where I just get in a truck, or a step van, I think they're calling this, the big box trucks, and just kind of like load up what I can and just kind of travel around and see what I can get to. But yeah, I haven't really gotten there yet, as I feel like I kind of want to train vehicle mechanics, so you can kind of like fix your car on the way, because there's a metric shitload of zombies, and on the offhand chance, more than likely, that you'll get into a fucking car wreck, crash your car, and then you're fucked on that point. Then you're just kind of on foot everywhere, and that doesn't seem too appealing. As far as clearing places goes, I wanted to talk about the muscle strain factor, but we'll save that for later, as I feel like that's kind of a divisive topic, and you know, yeah, here nor there. um, but yeah, I guess on good things, I guess we could start off on the lighting. The lighting is amazing in this game now. Before, I didn't think it was too bad, but like honestly, seeing old gameplay, because I had like maybe an hour of gameplay recorded from Build 41 at some point, and then looking back on that today, and then seeing what the game looks like now, the lighting is just a 9-day difference. So that is amazing. The added basements and skyscrapers. Haven't seen any skyscrapers. Ran into a few basements here or there, and those are actually pretty cool. A lot of the time, there's just kind of junk in the bottom of them. Nothing's like, set. It's not like a finished basement. It's just like trash down there. A couple boxes. You might see like a boiler or something. But usually there's not a lot of anything down there. Sometimes you run in. I've ran into. Well, okay. I guess I've ran into a few where they're like fully furnished. Like I ran into one guy's in Echo Creek that had like a movie theater set up down there, and that was pretty awesome. With like a projector and a popcorn machine and like theater seats and a big screen down there, and that was really cool to run into. And, you can find some bunkers with like ham radios and a few like lockers. I think there was like one gun left in there. I'm not sure if it had been looted, because I know now in this game there's like a time limit where stuff starts to get looted to kind of simulate other survivors taking stuff. But all in all, that's been the world building in this game is pretty nice. The addition to like readable flyers and more skill books, all of that has been pretty great. Now the fact that they have like aiming and reloading books to help you level those up has been pretty nice. Though most of the books are, in my opinion, way harder to come by than they have been in the previous patch, I want to say. But again, it's been a while since I played Build 41, but I feel like that is the case. Especially finding the level 1 skill books. I feel like I'm finding so many 4s and 5s and 3s, but rarely ever the level 1 skill book is what you want, because it helps you start doing that, which I don't know. I get into this point where it's like, okay, do I just try and find the level 1 skill book, or do I just start dismantling, like especially electrical? Do I just start dismantling all the watches and the TVs and whatever else, and the computers that I find, just to try to like plow through that level 1 first, rather than getting, I think it's like double XP. I'm not entirely sure. It's another thing that I've recently started to do is add some quality of life mods to this. Like I've added the I'm not exactly sure what it's called. I can actually look it up real quick. Yeah, simple status fixed. So it shows like actually the stats, like a numerical value for stuff, rather than it just be kind of hidden and just randomly pop up on Moodles. Like, oh, you're exhausted now. Now you can kind of see where that is, which is kind of nice to get a feel for it. Of like, I guess generally if you're like fighting or exerting yourself a lot when it comes to doing tasks in this game. So that's pretty nice. The condition fix on here I have as well. Condition indicator. Yeah, I feel like the old Build 41 item condition little bar, which shows like the condition of items, which still isn't in the base game. I'm not a big fan of that. I feel like that's like one small tweak you could do as just like a glance, instead of having to like go into your inventory and then check like, oh, is this this fucking pipe about to break because I mean, at least for the stuff on the hotbar, it should show that, like it is in there. This one on the Build 42 one doesn't have. I mean, maybe you can turn it on. I don't know, but it doesn't have like when you're using a gun, it doesn't show you how many bullets are in the mag or in the chamber. It just has the condition of it, so you kind of still have to count, which is fine, I guess. Makes you actually kind of count your rounds, which I guess you'd be doing in real life if you're in that kind of situation, I imagine, especially if you're using like a handgun or revolver. I mean, you should be trying to do it with anything, but I mean, if you have like a M16 or an M4, you probably are not going to be counting the rounds as you're shooting them. But I've got the condition on dash thing, which is I mean, the check engine, I don't know if even in the base game if those like type of things show. I mean, I know like realistically in real life your car will have like the check engine light that comes on if you need to do something. It'll have a battery indicator, so at least I guess probably for certain cars. I don't mind does if something's going on with your battery. I just have like the hair mods and stuff like that, but some sponges, clothing, open jackets, just to kind of mess around with a little bit of stuff, because for the most part, I have played this completely vanilla for probably about 200 hours between Build 41 and Build 42. And then when I started modding or adding some mods, it was mostly just description stuff, like the more descriptions for traits, which is nice because you can actually tell what stuff does. You're like, okay, what exactly does this change numbers wise? I guess those are kind of nice to know. But yeah, I mean, all in all, the update's pretty good, at least for positives. Negatives, I would just say that zombie distribution is kind of odd in certain places. Like, I feel like Echo Creek has been pretty fine for the most part. I've started there like twice on quick runs, but I always just feel like it's a nice place to explore right in the beginning, but it doesn't really offer too much. There's never a lot of stuff, and it forces you to kind of leave, which kind of ill prepares you for the rest of the surrounding areas, honestly, in my opinion. Like, what the hell is that place called? I think it's like Ekron is the next closest place, like west. And so on my I believe it was the last playthrough I played, I went up there, after like a week, cleared pretty much everything in Echo Creek. Just to the kind of point where you're like, okay, you're running out of weapons. All right, so you start clearing your way up. You gotta drive past the fucking gun store because that's just impossible to clear. I've tried the whole like get a car, turn on the radio real loud, honk the horn, lure all the zombies out into the field. But for the most part, there's not really a way out besides driving back through. Which kind of drags the zombies back for the most part and doesn't leave them in the corner. I mean, I don't know. There's just way too many zombies, in my opinion, in like the gun store, out in the middle of bumfuck nowhere. Like, I get people would go there, but like, I don't think there'd be that many people all holed up in there. And if there was people, like, if it was that bad, there would be like, I would say more guns on people, because at that point, I imagine people would be like killing each other for the guns and stuff. So yeah, I mean, I don't know. Ekron seems like a pretty small town, but there are so many fucking zombies in that community college. I'm just trying to find fucking skill books again, but like, you gotta clear. I think I cleared like 800 zombies in like 4 days, 3 days before I finally just was getting bored with the muscle strain factor of like killing 20 zombies. Okay, now I gotta sit and rest for 20 minutes. I mean, I get you can like use the speed up time, but like at the same time, if you're sitting in a certain area, like or on a chair, you gotta fucking keep your head on a swivel because they'll just sorry, they will just kind of pop up and and then you're dead. So normally what I was doing was running back out. I parked it by like the little lake in front of the community college or a pond or whatever the fuck you want to call it. Just parked a car over there, would run back to the car, and then just kind of chill in the car, go back in, and it was just taking forever compared to like Build 41 where they didn't have muscle strain, but you would get exhausted. And that seems fine. I think less is more sometimes. Muscle strain along with the exhaustion factor just is like, yeah, it's realistic, I guess, but I don't know. Like, you could change the numbers. I've done a quick run. We're just, for testing purposes, just kind of rolling it out, grabbing a melee weapon, and just see how many zombies you can kill, with it turned down by half. And it's a little better, but it's still kind of just, I don't know. It just feels odd. Like, I feel like the muscle strain factor should come in later. Like, you shouldn't feel it till the next day is what I would feel like. I mean, like, if you're in that kind of situation, yeah, you're going to get tired, but you're not going to be like, oh, my muscles hurt. It's going to be the next day when you wake up, and then you're going to feel it. Like, if you go to the gym and you start lifting heavy, like, yeah, sure, your arms, might be either kind of tight, but the next day is when you really feel that, the muscles strain or tense or whatever the fuck. But, I don't know. Maybe they could do something like that. Or give it like a cool down, like, whenever you would hit the muscle strain thing, let's say like 6 hours after that, you just start to feel it. Or if you, I don't know, something like that. Like you hit like a threshold and then something happens. I don't know. I think with you fighting zombies, especially if you're not desensitized, the panic should kind of keep you from exerting so much up until a point. But yeah, it's just kind of like a cascading effect, Start to get tired, or I think generally first what hits is the muscle strain. Here we go. We're already talking about fucking muscle strain. Didn't take too long because that's like really the only kind of like bad part about this, and I wouldn't even say it's bad. It's just like it is what it is. It's the mechanic that everybody either loves or hates, or is kind of in between. That's where I'm at. I'm in between. Like I think it's fine. It just, like I said, that's how I would balance it if that's even possible in the game. Is make it like 6 hours of hitting the threshold, then like you gotta take a day off. That's fine. Like having one day, you go out and you kill fucking 100 zombies or whatever. You hit your limit on the muscle strain factor. You can get through the whole day, but at some point, like when you have to sleep, because eventually you do have to sleep in this game. When you go to sleep, you wake up, then you have the muscle strain factor, and maybe it takes like 12 hours to go away or something. So that's a base day. But I also think like maybe that with the increased amount of zombies and the addition to the muscle strain factor stuff, that your fitness and strength should honestly level faster through just basic combat. Running around and hacking through 100 zombies in a day. I feel like you start to get pretty fit. I mean, because you lose weight and gain weight so fucking quick in this by eating, fucking ice cream and shit food. Or, you're just eating meat and eggs all day and you just start slimming down. I mean, plus you're just exerting yourself mostly. You're just out all the time. You're walking around if they're trying to make it realistic. I feel like you get fit pretty quick. As fast as you lose weight and gain weight in this game. I feel like the fitness and strength levels should kind of reflect on those. Those should be like the quickest things that you level up, because either you're going to get to be, like a lean tone fighting machine, or you're just gonna fucking die. I mean, people can drop like 30 pounds in a month if you're constantly doing that. I mean, I've done it. I've been at jobs where you're just physical labor all the time. You're moving, you're walking 30 plus miles a day, you're lifting heavy shit, and you drop a shitload of weight because you don't have time to eat either. You're eating little bits here or there. You're not fucking dying. As long as you have a lot of water in your system, you're fine. Your body's going to live off the fat stars, especially if you have like an overweight character in the beginning. But, I mean, if we're talking about realism, as long as you have water, you're going to be pretty fine. And there's abundance of food in the early game, so I feel like that should be like a thing that goes up quick. I get that it's like, what I guess a day is like an hour in real time. But yeah, I don't know. Just a little bit of tweaks here or there I feel would be like okay. And yeah, I know everybody's like, change it in the sandbox or, skill issue or whatever, but dying isn't a problem in this game. Like, fuck, I played DayZ for 2,000 hours and you die all the time in the game. Well, I mean, at least in the beginning, like, dying is whatever. You just fucking start over. Who cares? Every life is a lesson, essentially. That's how I look at this game. Is how I looked at DayZ. Most people for permadeath games, and this game technically isn't permadeath. You could still just re-roll a new character in the same world, but like time has still gone on. You don't get your skills back. I believe there's like a mod which you can pick up like a skill book that your character drops or something to get all those skills back, so you basically lose nothing. But that's not the base game. That's realistically what I'm talking about, is the vanilla version of the game. Especially in Build 42, I feel like most people should be playing the vanilla version, or as close to vanilla as possible, to give accurate feedback. I mean, I think this game has been out for a long fucking time, more than 5 years, maybe even close to 10 years from what I've seen in comment, like, especially, or just the Steam forums in general. I get it. Every game's early access beta thing for 40 goddamn years at this point. I've been through it. DayZ, probably my favorite game of all time. Same thing. And they finally have, I guess, quote unquote, a full release. And I think that took like 10 years, maybe even like 12. I don't fucking know exact time frame, but I mean, as far as I'm concerned, it's just a live service game that you pay once for, and the devs keep doing stuff. So, great. DayZ was the same. Applaud the devs, give constructive feedback. Don't be a fucking asshole. This is someone's baby. Obviously, this game is a labor of love. I can't say that. Labor of love. But yeah, so give good constructive feedback, whether they decide to listen or not. Whatever. This is like everybody says, this is a sandbox game. There's literally every setting on planet Earth in this game to change it how you want. I've messed a little bit with that, but for the most part, I just try to keep it as base apocalypse settings, which I think is like hard mode on this. And I believe, oh god, what is it? Adventure, casual mode, I don't know. The one right underneath that, with like multi-hit enabled and stuff, I believe is like how the game is, what's the word I'm looking for? Balanced. Yeah, the game is balanced around is the whatever mode that is, the medium one. I believe it's like adventure or some shit. I don't know. So actually, I have yet to actually make a run on that. Maybe I will try. But after learning the game, I felt like it was too easy with multi-hit and shit enabled. So I just started playing on Apocalypse just to kind of like get it. You know, again, the combat is just one of those things where, you know, you hear a lot of people complain about, oh, it's pretty hard. I don't think it's that hard. Like the fence fighting, like the hardest part about this game would be fence fighting, and that's only because half the time the shit is janky as hell when trying to hit people on the ground. Like you'll swing if you're not holding the alt key. Oh, by the way, for people who, if you're new to this or if you do play and you just don't know everything, the alt key allows you to hit on the ground like it's a hotkey for like ground attacks. So if you hold alt, the left alt, you'll swing to the ground rather than just swinging up or wherever the game decides it wants you to swing. So that's a good thing with fence fighting. Again, it is what it is. The game is amazing regardless. I'm not gonna stop playing it just because of this. If it sounded like I was bitching too much, but yeah, I mean, honestly, all in all, the game has been fantastic. It's a great labor of love. Especially getting into single player, not getting into single player games, but really focusing on single player games more in the last year or so, and just kind of getting bored of all of the multiplayer stuff. I know this game has multiplayer. I played it a few times with some friends. I believe the first time I ever played this game was in a multiplayer server with my brother and his friend. And I didn't really like it. Not that it was like bad or anything in the multiplayer. I just, coming off Daisy, I wasn't sure if I liked the whole isometrical top-down thing. But then, a couple months later, I kind of was like, I think maybe I kind of enjoyed that. And so yeah, I just started playing a lot more of it and got really into it, and it's just been kind of nice to just turn your brain off and survive in a zombie apocalypse world, which I like. I love this genre. But yeah, I mean, let me know what you think down in the comments below. Where you at with muscle strain? Do you like everything else about it? Because that really seems to be the one thing that people hate. But unless you got something else that you don't like, put it down in the comments below. Let me know what you think. I'm gonna put some more videos up. I've just been kind of, I don't know, apathetic, I guess is probably the word. Such is life. Towards doing anything lately. It's been one of those. If you know, you know. But yeah, everybody out there, have a great day. Enjoy the game. And I will catch you in the next one.